Yeah.
So
you have the 200-mile-an-hour hat on.
Yeah.
You've been faster than 200, though, from what I understand. I was wondering what hat you were going to bring with you, because the hats are a cool... It's
thing.
the endless flex, hat.
And it's not... And this is... I'm glad that you said that, because the other day, David Freiberger was trying to explain El Mirage, and someone said someone said something derogatory, like it's a dumb club with too many rules. And it's like, well, no... The rules are pretty good, real good. And when you meet another man that has a hat and he's, like there's a guy in my area, there's two guys in my area in Mount Dora that have 200-mile-an-hour club hats. Mm-hmm. And the one man did it with Don Garlitz.
Oh, that's cool.
And he tells the story of what it was like to go to the Salt with Don Garlitz. And Don was an avid drag racer. But when you're on the Salt and the car moves around, Don, he kept getting out of the gas. Something ain't right. Well, there was a ruckus, and another man had to get in the car and prove it was safe. Well, then after that, Don's at 6 miles with the foot on the floor. Now he's experienced what it's like, And you get to hear the story from a guy that's, he's probably 20 years on me, and it's awesome. So it's a club. It's not a so the micro record culture is one thing where I did something in order for me to feel like I did something special. I had to categorize it with all these asterisks. And then the 200-mile-an-hour club's like, oh yeah, you're in it too? Like, awesome. How did you get in?
Yeah.
What was it like? And the men tell you like it happened yesterday. Like I can tell you what it's like to go 300 miles an hour like it was yesterday. Like I just got out of the car. It's intense. It's in your head. You can't just shake it off. Drag racing's like, boom, it's over.
Yeah.
Out there, it's like, it's this whole dance of events.
How long does it take? It's what, 300 miles an hour, and how long of a distance?
So
like how much time are you
they clock you
in the gas?
About a minute. They clock you there's the one, and when you're at the starting line and you look down the course, you can see the one. And the push truck initializes, and you get on the gas, and like nothing happens. And then you go around 100, and things start to roll. And then you're managing some traction, and then you're working to get to the 2.25. So 2.25 miles is a marker. Like you probably need to be going 230, 240 by the 2.25 if you want to get it done by the 4. Because the longer you keep it floored, the more the heat's coming for it. So it's a balance. You're not just moseying off the starting line. You're trying to get it done as fast as you can, because the longer it's floored, the more heat is being soaking into the entire system.
Are you controlling that with your foot, or are you controlling that with the ECU?
Well, now the cars have good enough wheel speed sensors that I can start to use the Motec.
Okay.
But you have to mitigate that too, because you can't just suck all the timing out of it, because you'll overheat the exhaust and have a different problem. Mm-hmm. So I use the throttle angle a lot. Like I got the 369 Roadster now. The guys are making runs in it, and they just think they're making the best runs of their lives. And the ECU is giving it the boost and the timing and the throttle angle that it needs.
So they think they're like drivers all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm getting the traction right, I'm getting the heat right.
You leave a little slip in it. You can't just get in there and like there's still some action, especially at El Mirage where you're on dirt. The dirt is a whole different thing. The Salt can be like a slushy, or it can be like asphalt.
Weird
Salt's
to
very
imagine
dynamic.
Dirt, putting down that kind of power on just like dirt.
Oh,
anyways.
man.
It's just a weird thought. Like,
yeah. So there's the 200-mile-an-hour club, red, 300-mile-an-hour club, blue, 400-mile-an-hour club, black. And when you see a dude with a black hat, it's like, man. And then at El Mirage, there's a burgundy hat. It's called the dirty red hat. And it's, if you go 200 at El Mirage, you're getting it.
Okay, so on the dirt is it a next level challenge to do it, or is it next level dangerous? Because like, if you could do it on the Salt, that would imply there's a lot of cars that can do it.
Yeah,
but they don't.
It's a different environment. So Bonneville is a 5-mile ride, when everything's in good shape. El Mirage is a 1.3 mile dry lake bed.
Oh, wow.
When the guys came back from World War II and they were street racing, and the cops said, you can't do that. They found this dry lake bed and started racing on it. And people are still racing on it.
Yeah.
El Mirage, the dust, like when I built the first engine that went to El Mirage, I don't know what the reason why I don't think it blew up, but I was servicing it, and there was all this stuff around the buckets, and I'm like, what is that stuff? And I'm like looking and looking and looking. It's dirt. The dry sump was pulling it past the cam seals and the rear main seal, and it's dirt in the engine.
Oh, wow.
And you're like, oh, that's cool. And it's super fine.
Yeah.
Super fine, but it's dirt.
So it's almost like silt like that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that you could put a dust cloud behind a car that looks like a hydroplane boat.
oh, wow.
It's amazing.
So that was a 2J.
Yeah, 2J.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, I work on so right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. The Roadster, the Alpha, the Datsun, the Liner. 4 2JZ cars that I build the engine and work on the Motec. And then now I'm getting the opportunity to work on the Speed Demon. And the Speed Demon is basically a UFO. The dude that built the Demon just passed. His name was George Petit. Mm-hmm. And George Petit is probably, if you don't know the name, he's a hero to the industry. I mean, if George met you and he believed in you, he would let you build a car like money no object. And then you could use that car to jumpstart your effort. So a lot of the great men that are in the industry right now, they were customers of George's at one point. And George had a killer car collection, and he's got this Speed Demon. The thing's been like 480 miles an hour. Kenny Detwilder builds the engines, and Kenny's been at it. Kenny's like one of the triple OG turbocharged guys in America.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the Speed Demon and the car just a little bit. I'm so novice to anything salt flats, and it's probably because we're so far from it that it's like a very foreign thing.
Yeah, if you're why would you own a boat if you're not near the ocean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even I've never been, obviously, most people know, but
nah, it's worth going. LA, like you could come out with me, most like anyone of reasonable character, like come out, like just you want to go to LA, man. I've been going to LA since I'm 25. I'll take you in and out of LA. We'll go to El Mirage. It's a good time. We cruise the PCH, have breakfast, with our toes in the sand. It's a cool trip.
Sounds romantic.
Rule number 1.
Why LA? So why LA? It's so romantic in LA.
Oh no,
it's right there.
You get out of LA, but you get to see LA. LA is, I would argue, one of the most beautiful disasters we have in our nation. It's LA. It's Los Angeles. It's the first big West Coast. Well, San Fran maybe, but LA is LA.
Yeah.
LA is like, it's a beautiful disaster.
Yeah, it is crazy. That state is, without a doubt, the most beautiful state in the U.S.
I think a lot of, and I don't want to get into it deep, but if you only watched the internet and television, you would think that California was lost in space. But when you go to LA and you talk to people, I stopped in a mini truck show the other day and just looked at the trucks and rapped with some people. Like, it's all good. People are just peopling.
Yeah.
There's some problems in the management of the state. But there's problems in management in most states. Just they really get it. But it's still California.
Yeah, I mean, you go to Miami and you're like, oh man, what's going on around here?
Yeah. No, it's just where we're at as a society.
So how far is it from LA then?
90 miles.
90 miles to get to the Salt?
Yeah.
Or to get to
El Mirage.
El Mirage.
It's a beautiful drive too.
Yeah. To me, I've always felt it was like an older guys club, I guess, and like it was like an older thing that the younger generation seems to be a little lost to. Maybe.
So the wisdom that you gain as you age, it comes in over time, right? So if you're a kid, you're just looking for the easy. Give me an easy hit. Give me something to race. Give me, a kid will get on a dirt bike and not think twice.
Yeah.
A grown man's like, man, I'm not trying to go to the hospital, break my back. So it's just like wisdom. So the dudes out there, they know how they can play. They know how long they get to play for. They know that the schedule fits an adult's life. You're going to Bonneville, you're going twice a year, unless you want to go to some of the other sanctioned bodies and test and things like that. But it's a digestible schedule. If you're trying to follow it, if you're a sprint car racer or a lot of other racers, like if you're a small tire racer, you can be racing every weekend. You got to have a lot of cash and a lot of time.
Yep.
Hard on a family, this and that. So those dudes, they are wise. You sit out there, you can walk into most pits and some guy will tell you stuff that you didn't even know you needed to know. I mean, they're just, every single guy is a treasure out there. The people are incredible.
That's been my understanding of it as well, as like the group that it brings out, because it takes that extra level of dedication.
Yeah.
It weeds out a lot of kind of like the nonsense, I guess.
Well,
you could say.
There's no riffraff. There's no catty women. There's no bickering.
Because the pay to play is higher than other forms of racing, so it kind of draws in.
It's like
it just boils out.
Well, I think in drag racing you may get into some of the, and it's not bad, but you're prone to it. There's going to be some jackass at the party that wants to start a fight, and you may get that at a drag race. But out there, it's like, nah, man, we worked too hard to get here. We don't have time for that. Just be cool.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bogetti Clips YouTube channel. For the full podcast, check us out on Bogetti Studios YouTube and all your audio platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the new Bogetti clips coming up.